Mr. Jack Blackley in that fucking shark again. And come into it, Mr. Jack Blackley's got shark on a reconnaissance. He's deep within a family. It's like the Waco, Texas death cult / Charlie Manson style approach to the Manson family. And it goes into it where you see these people start to harbour onto an unsub like that of the Hollywood Hills man from that off entertainment who the Manson family tried to engage with for their own uses. For that man was already on entertainment, they found a way that they could befriend him and try and live off his element. As the man went away, they moved into his place and tried to take it over like it was theirs. A whole motley crew of fucking scumbag freeloaders in that like Charlie Manson in the first place. This is where Mr. Jack Blackley's got shark in there and he's got to see it all firsthand. The understandable, like the fucked up hair, the big fucked up beards and all that shit. The full family members, they're surrounding, understands they're day oneers, mate. They're day oneers. I go into it where he'd take a job to be that like how they were transforming people. If you don't understand the story, maybe you just listen to my one, take it on board and then cross-references with the Charlie Manson files. I don't think that's his actual name. It came up in a few different ways a few times. But it's just a simple situation to see how he goes through every single understandable picture of their actual pieces, their families, their associates, their friends, their connections, infiltrates them in that Jacques does, taking it on in a simulation or birthing to say be part of their family where they would be none the wiser because they're very, very discreet about how they were doing their situations. It goes into molestation and all this different other stuff to say to beat them up and all the rest of it, to try and claim some dominance on them, to try and put them in a disarray of delusions upon their understandable infractions. To say to where even go into the understandables unsubs was supposedly Charlie Manson's best friend, as he tried to be more like Charlie Manson in the way of it, but started in a different on a different characteristic to try and harbour in on this small child, to try and cash in on it so they could eat better or live a better lifestyle. And it's like they were financing themselves off that child's torture. And that's why the job file had to be taken on. It goes into it where he holds down the whole understands taking it in for furthermore where that person is supposedly left with nothingness in a way of torment and torture. But that's only being pushed on by their family itself to begin with, where they all take turns upon that like group sodomy, and that the actual understands of belittlement as they intricated it around to try different locations and such situations like that. It went in for furthermore where they dropped it back on the understands to take that Manson back to where he was a younger person, to where he think he found the religious passage and all that stuff. But it turned out that he was just ripping it off that person to how he knew him in the first place, to how he was trying to legitimately say that that was his and actually receive some finances from that in the first place. That's one of the gnarliest parts of the thing. It goes from where they're old, seeing them in the full development, and then seeing them when they're younger as like adolescent type for furthermores to say maturity. But yeah, it's a different story. Go for a while. But as I say, I'm work on it, so I'll upload this to save it because I have to clear my phone all the time to delete it because I can't keep too much. It does not a very good one, a bit like a potato. But still, anyway, it go on for furthermore. Pretty much wraps itself up where it's sort of like the Pulp Fiction jumping all over the pieces, so it never traps itself into that torturous thing to where it's like driven drive of psychosomatic type hatred and all that stuff. But like for the job file, it sort of pans itself out, does the pieces, does the work, clears out at the end where coming back into the laboratory, Mr. Jack Blackley and Jacques are sitting in the cafeteria again, but not in the actual cafeteria, outside on the deck. Outside on the deck, and they're looking out over this little bit of a city they have off the back of the veranda. And it's like, well, pretty much wraps itself up with just another effort to see the actual understanders to take it on for the actual command unit for how it works as the military operation for what it is, to take care of these situations, to see it firsthand in the basis of it. And that's pretty much it. Thank you very much, Jacques Marceau. 621, 622, 24, 25. Thank you.